Hi, my name is Jonathan Diggs, and this is my 7th year teaching at Providence Classical. Before I was a teacher, I was an engineer and a youth pastor, and so I teach kind of a wide range of subjects here at PCS. I teach business math this year, Greek 1 and 3, physics, biology, and earth science. So those are my classes this year. If you ever need to talk to me about anything, please don't hesitate. My email address is jdiggs@pcsvirginia.org, and I have my phone number in the email that I sent out so that you can reach me with that. Don't hesitate to do that. Send me a text, give me a call. I want to be here and available to you, and if there are any problems, I'd rather deal with them as soon as possible rather than waiting for them to get worse. So by all means, feel free to reach out to me. I try to put, this year I'm trying to put all of my lesson plans and assignments on RenWeb. We did that last year when we were in lockdown, and I thought it was a better process overall in terms of just communicating with the students. And so each week I'm going to have the lesson plans up for the class, and then any assignments I'll try to link there so that if a student misses it or loses it or whatever, they can go on RenWeb and download them. If there seems to be a conflict between what I said in class and what is up on RenWeb, please tell the student to go over to do what I said in class, because I may not have gotten a chance to update what is on RenWeb yet. And if there's any confusion, again, just text me. For students who may be absent, just know that if, say if you miss 2 days, you've got 2 full days after the student comes back in order to make up any missed work. So I just, particularly in the time that we're in, just want to make sure we're really clear on the expectations there. And so just try to have as much grace as I can for that. Beyond that time, it is considered late, and any late assignments we penalize at a letter grade per day. So I think that's about it in terms of general announcements. Like I said, feel free to reach out to me. We've considered an honor to be teaching your children. It's fun to interact with them and to be with them and to see what they're doing. And certainly great to do that in person this year. So we're here for them. I'm here for you as a family, and please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you. So for Ancient Greek 3, I have Ancient Greek 3 and Physics, one right after the other. So I'm going to cover both of those in the same video. So these are our seniors that have kind of been with me for the last 2 years, and actually I had them for homeroom in 9th grade. So they know me really well, and they know kind of my expectations. Especially for Greek 3, it'll be very, very similar to what they experienced in Greek 1 and 2. And if they made it through Greek 1 and 2, they're going to be fine in Greek 3, as long as they just keep doing the work. Really, Greek 2, in my opinion, is kind of the hardest of all the years. But they still need to keep up with it. Obviously, we move more in Greek 3, less. There's still quite a bit of grammar, but it's more interpretation. We're reading more interesting things. It's the discussions get better, and they're starting to get some of the reward for learning Greek over the years. It's really the same textbook as we've always been using. We have one other textbook that we'll use this year, but it's in the class, and they won't need to bring that home very often. So the grading criteria, we have tests that are 35%. Quizzes would be like vocabulary quizzes, or just a checkup is 25%. And then their translations and any kind of interpretive papers would be another 25%. And then the last bit is just the 15% for homework, just to kind of make sure they're keeping up with that. So that's very similar to previous years, and they're familiar with that. I'll just re-emphasize this: if senior year is really busy, if they get into a bind where they're just really trying to get their thesis done or something else for another class, I can be pretty flexible with Greek, and so as long as we're not at the end of a grading period, I can work around that. So just encourage them to stay on top of it and to communicate with me if they're having any problems, getting something turned in. We can usually work it out. These are great students. I love working with the senior class, and I don't anticipate any problems there. For physics, it is kind of nice that we can have physics right after Greek 3. So like Friday we had a lab, and I was able to end Greek 3 a little early so that we could have more time for our physics lab. Physics is, it's a hard science. It's definitely senior level. I'm going to try to stretch them and push them as much as I can. We don't know. Some of these students may go on to do engineering. Some of them may not be in a STEM type of field, but they'll still go to college and have a freshman science class, a chemistry class, a geology class with a lab. And so my goal for this class is really to not only teach the content, but also to get them ready for those first lab reports and that lab experience in college so that they feel confident there. So it's a typical physics course where we learn a whole variety range of physics concepts. We learn everything from motion, Newton's laws, forces, energy, thermodynamics, electricity, magnetism, you name it. We do a little bit of it all in physics. The plan is to have 2 labs per quarter, and one of the hardest things in physics is the lab write-ups. They're writing them from scratch on their own, and that's really what's expected at a college level. And so I literally use Virginia Tech's lab guidelines for writing lab reports, so that we are just preparing them for what a college lab write-up would be. Mr. Marshall did some of that with them in previous year, I think last year, and so or maybe the year before, but they'll be ready and they'll have seen some of the lab expectations. As far as the materials for the class, they are going to need some sort of a laptop or access to a computer just to write their reports and use a spreadsheet, that kind of thing. But by this point, they mostly have access to all that, so I'm not concerned with them getting those things. So yeah, if they have any questions, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm looking forward to a great year. Thanks a lot.